Joining us now, Aaron Nagler from CheeseheadTV.com. You'll hear Cheesehead TV. You'll hear Carry the G Radio today. It's Tuesday, noon to 2, right here on The Game. Mr. Nagler, as always, is brought to you today by Miller Lite, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference, and by Rogers Behavioral Health. Good morning, Mr. Nagler. How are you?
Good morning, Czabe. Good morning, boys. How are we doing on this fine Tuesday? Sorry for my late arrival, but the MTA was conspiring against me.
Conspired against you. That's fine. We're here, and let's get after it. So one day later, how are your feelings on the Packers' fourth quarter collapse? Can I call it a collapse?
Yeah, a collapse is
fair.
It
was a collapse.
Collapse is fair.
It was.
I mean, it was team-wide. It was systemic, as they like to say in certain quarters of our great land here, but look, I'm you know me. I'm the beer glass is half full kind of guy. So I love everything we saw in the second and third quarters. I'm going to concentrate on that. And the fourth quarter stuff, it's upsetting. It's a little problematic, but hey, hopefully this young team learns from it. Hopefully this not so young coaching staff learns from it, and it doesn't happen again.
I saw somebody make a point on Twitter, which I thought may have some merit, maybe not, in which they said essentially when offensive players play poorly, fans go, this guy's no good, that guy's no good. When defensive players play poorly, it's fire Joe Barry.
Yeah,
saw that. Or not.
I understand the point. The problem becomes the expectations and everything poured into the defensive side of the ball, and the fact that we spent all offseason talking about, well, it's a real young offense and the defense is going to have to hold up its end of the bargain. And the whole idea of holding up your end of the bargain, it doesn't include getting gashed repeatedly throughout the entirety of the second half where you know they're going to run the ball and you can't stop them. That's, you've got how many first-round picks, you've got how much invested on the defensive side of the ball. I understand the idea that it's not all Joe Barry's fault. His players do have to make plays. You saw 2 dropped interceptions, one of them probably a pick 6. I get that. But there's also something you can do as the coordinator to counter what is being basically shoved down your throat again and again and again.
Both of those are true. And I think that's where all Packer fans are a little frustrated. There's a lot of Packer fans that are also frustrated with David Bakhtiari. And I know you jumped on with Drew and KB and said, hey, hold on. Just figure out what's going on.
Here we go.
Well, I'm one of those, though, Nagler. I am.
No. Butch, I never would have guessed.
I'm sorry. Like, we can wait. We can see. But I know we're on opposite, here. And this is where I think a good conversation can happen. Because I do, it's one of those things that, are you going to be okay load managing him all year long? And my biggest question is, did the organization have that in mind when they started the season?
I mean, that's my guess, right? I mean, I got to believe this is a conversation. Everyone no, we don't know. But guess what? We don't know the ins and outs of every injury on the injury report either.
I agree. Absolutely.
Nagler, are you okay with load managing Bakhtiari? Because I tried
$1 billion%. Now, here's the question. Here's my question that no one wants to wait and find an answer for, apparently, in this universe of ours. But perhaps, just perhaps, and I'm just spitballing here, David and the team, including the medical staff, have had conversations. He hasn't laid down an ultimatum. They've had conversations about the fact that, you know what? Uneven turf in general, maybe not the best for my knee that swells every time I play a game of football. Let's hold him out in week 2 so he's available in weeks 3 and 4 on the grass at Lambeau Field. Now, I don't know if that's happened. I have no idea. That's a possibility that no one wants to even begin to entertain.
But it's also our job, and what we do is to be able to look at the other side of this and say, yeah, patience is great.
What, the pitchfork side?
In sports talk radio. You can't be patient in sports talk radio, Nagler. I'm sorry. It's our job.
You can bring some perspective to things. My God. Right. That's all I ask.
This is my thing.
Some perspective.
But this was my gut, and this is what I fear. Okay. Right. Now, the other side of it, you're right. Conversations might have happened, and I've said that. But my fear, because this has been almost 900 days since the ACL, is that David Bakhtiari and the Green Bay Packers are not on the same page. That's a fear of mine. Because just
why
the way
do you fear that?
Why do I fear that?
Why don't you fear normal things like spiders and
fair, true.
Lack
true.
of fulfillment
There's a
in
lot of
life.
other things I fear.
Oh,
The
man.
reason I fear that though is players have so much power. I think when players have too much power, they put organizations in a bad situation.
Right, but why do you think Bakhtiari
AKA
is that
Aaron
guy?
Rodgers? Did we not agree with that? Was that not what the narrative
Aaron
against-
Rodgers won. Aaron Rodgers won it out in 2020 and didn't get out until 2023. I mean, players have power to a point.
Right. Why do you think
Well,
Bakhtiari is that guy, Butchie? Because I don't see it. Why do you think he's that guy?
He's not that guy, pal.
He's not that
Why?
guy.
Why do I think he's that guy? Well, number one, he's done it already. We talked about this. I mean, in Washington, he pulled the plug last year. Day of the game, pulled the plug, said, "I'm not playing."
Was the organization mad at him?
I would think so. Yes.
You would.
I mean, I don't know, but
I
to
don't
be told,
recall them being mad at him. For
Look, we have to talk to.
Are they going to come out?
None of these conversations mean anything. None of these conversations mean anything if we don't talk to Flea, we don't talk to Nate Weir, we don't talk to the people who have the medical info,
and they're not.
And we're never going to get that.
Right. And they're not going to comment on it. I will say
exactly.
This. I think we can agree on this though, Nagler. Right? The way that Matt Lefleur handled it after the game added question.
Wasn't
people.
great.
Now, yesterday he came out. No, right? Yesterday he came out, and at least there was an answer. And that the way Matt Lefleur handled that questioning led to all the other stuff. And my speculation is, as far as they're not on the same page. Now, somebody talked with Matt, obviously, and said, "Matt, you need to address this.
You need to say this.
Questions asked. You need to say something." And now at least they're on this. It looks like they're on the same page.
All right.
Look, in defense of Matt Lefleur, he just got done watching his team get like boat raced by the running game of the Atlanta Falcons, and the last thing he wants to talk about is his left tackle's left knee conspiracy theories.
In fact,
that's a big deal.
Sorry,
that's where I'm at. All due respect, let's move on. There's other fish to fry.
Thank you.
Am I wrong in saying that the Packers have an RB2 issue on their hands?
It's simmering, that's for sure. You know the Packers. They're going to give A.J. Dillon every opportunity to right. They're going to think long-term. They're going to think in long windows. I do not doubt for a moment that they're really, really hoping that Aaron Jones is available for this game on Sunday against the Saints. But if it's a hamstring injury, we know they always want to err on the side of caution. I suspect A.J. will get another start. And I'm not saying this is the last chance saloon, but he's got to perform better. No doubt about it. Between week 1 and week 2, and week 1, I didn't think the line did him any favors. Week 2, I don't think it was much better, but he had opportunities. They were there, and he didn't make the most of them. It's not to say that he hasn't produced at times. He certainly has. You can put on the tape and see plenty of good runs, strong runs. But, man, when you absolutely need a yard, you got to be able to turn around and hand it to your big boy back and not have him tripping over his own feet.
Is Patrick Taylor the answer?
Not long term, absolutely not. I mean, I think it'll definitely be a committee. That's the problem, right? And you can kind of look back and see maybe there's a reason they had those phone calls with the Indianapolis Colts about Jonathan Taylor, especially when you have an Aaron Jones who can't stay on the field. You have A.J. Dillon, who is certainly not the guy they expected him to be when they drafted him in the second round. He looked so good his rookie year. You expected him to develop. That has not happened.
So this year they drafted Lou Nichols, running back, in the 7th round. Did he make the team out of Central? I didn't even see.
No, I believe he was waived injured, I believe, if I remember right.
Injury waived. Okay. Didn't take a running back in 2022 in all their picks. Took one running back in 2021, Kylan Hill.
Who famously got himself thrown off the team.
Yeah.
Attitude issues, Czabe, attitude issues.
And that takes us back to the Dillon pick. Where have you gone, James Starks, the former 6th rounder who carried the Packers when they needed him the most in the 2010 playoff run? I think this team, Nagler, stopped drafting running backs because they felt so good about their combo. And now the back end of the combo is proving to be maybe not that guy.
I mean, it's possible. Like I said, they're going to give him every opportunity. And as frustrating as it is as fans on the outside looking in, I got to imagine it's 10 times more frustrating for AJ because he knows he can do it, right? We've seen him do it. Mm-hmm. He admitted yesterday, I believe it was or maybe it was after the game. He said, just getting out over my skis, right? Just getting out over my toes. He knows he's doing everything too fast. He just needs to calm down, take a breath, and run through a guy's face, essentially.
So is going after Jonathan Taylor worth it? Because yesterday Czabe was all for it. Let's go get that man. Then he came today and was like, well, I don't know.
All it takes is a really nasty injury to Nick Chubb. Yeah, maybe we should go get a running back.
The winds of change, you know. Look, he's still on PUP for another 2 weeks, so you can't even. It's not even a conversation for another 2 weeks at the minimum. Trade deadlines at the end of October, maybe. I mean, look, Miami was in the sweepstakes, so to speak, as well last time around. You got to think they'll be making calls too. The Packers offered mid-round picks. Maybe it happens, but man, they were asking for Christian Watson. That ain't gonna happen. So, you know, I doubt it.
By the way, is he going to play this year?
We'll see. We'll see. I know, right? We'll see. We'll see how those ailments magically cure themselves once he gets a new contract.
Yeah. All right. What's the game day plan for you guys for this home opener at Lambeau Field?
Baby. Well, we'll be doing the watch party as we always do, but we'll have boots on the ground, so to speak, throughout all of the parking lots, all the surroundings around Lambeau Field. So if you're cooking out, you're tailgating, you're having a good time, be on the lookout for Cheesehead TV. Maybe you'll be featured in our watch party or any of our content on our YouTube channel.
Okay. Key for this week going into the Saints game. Give me something you got your eye on. Just as an exit question here. What are we looking at?
Oh, baby.
On front of your radar screen here.
Quicker, more efficient start from Jordan Love. Jordan's played really well in these 2 games. Really exciting times. They got to get better in the passing game early on in the game.
If they can, defense, right?
I know that defense is legit. There's no doubt about it. But I think a lot of this is he's just going a little fast. Again, just take a breath.
It's young players.
You know he can do it. Yeah. Young player. Third start so far in the NFL. This will be his 4th. So but you see the second, third quarter when he settles in, man, he can really sling it. He's just got to be a little more efficient early on in the game, and I think they'll really be cooking with gas because this defense, as you saw, can't hold up against the run. But if you can get a lead, pin your ears back, get after the quarterback, they should be all right.
You ever been to Pittsburgh for a game, Nags?
I have.
And
gorgeous sight. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful.
Best fans in all of NFL, Czabe says.
Steelers fans they might be the number 1 fan base in the league.
I mean, they're passionate as hell, and they were classy as hell last night when Chubb got hurt. I'll tell you that. That was a really impressive display on their part. No question. It's a gorgeous sight, though, and the tailgating is awesome. There's a casino right by there. Of course it's the Packers. We all know this.
Come on. For crying out loud, you've done a whole Cheesehead TV. You've gone all in with the base on the fan. Okay,
Zabe, what is he? Zabe grew up a Washington fan. He doesn't know fan bases.
All right, I just want to
make sure. I'm trying to bring an objective view to this. That's all I think.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know. All right. Mr. Nagler, is always a pleasure, my friend. We'll see you today at noon.
See you at noon. Carry the G Radio. Thanks a lot, guys.
Aaron Nagler, a conversation brought to you by Miller Lite, Orthopedic.